So it's taking this concept, but to the entire body, and noticing how our nervous system and all the tissues, right down to our DNA, will be shifting and changing according to our behavior. Hello and welcome back. Now, just before we get started, if you're watching this on the Total Somatics YouTube channel, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and press the notification bell. So whenever I release an episode, you find out very quickly. Now, I wanted to share with you a little extract of some information that I was sharing in greater detail with a beautiful group of people within the Shift Network. So recently I was asked to collaborate with the Shift Network and I held a 7-week course. So I thought I'd just take a little snippet of something we were discussing recently and how I could share that with you too, because it's relevant to all of us throughout our life. And that is that we are pattern creators. I love using that expression, and it really is so true because everything that we do, we create patterns of behavior, patterns of posture, patterns of movement, patterns of what's happening within our nervous system. Do we feel that we have a regular state where our nervous system feels dysregulated? Do we notice that our breathing can be dysfunctional? You see, when we expose ourselves to a certain way of movement, posture, breathing, headspace, internal narrative, our belief systems, all of that, we can either create empowering or disempowering beliefs and movements and breath and nervous system behavior. And that is because throughout our life, our brain is listening all the time to what we're doing, what we expose ourselves to. And all of this is changing the wiring or the synapses within your brain. And so, in order for pattern creation to happen, we have to have this process called neuroplasticity. So, you may have heard of it. So, neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to adapt and rewire according to all of the different situations that we encounter. So, that's going to include our movement, our medical history, our personal life story, everything, emotional, mental, physical, energetic health, all of that will shift and change how we move and how we operate. So we can either create empowering, good, healthy movements, or we can create this body armoring where we lock down, we hunker down, and we can live like that for decades. And that is because 95%, over 95% of the programs or the patterns that we have within our body, in our system, are subconscious, meaning they just happen naturally under our conscious control. And that allows us to then go about focusing on our daily activities and events. So unless we notice these programs and make some little shifts and changes, we will continue these programs running in the background and they literally run the show. So consider how often you're updating the software on your phone, how often you're updating the software on your PC or your other devices. We do that regularly, don't we, to allow things to run smoothly. It's the same with us. We need to do regular resets to just ensure, are these patterns or programs, are they serving us well, or are they causing us to have limited pain, poor posture? Is it causing us to have a nervous system that feels very dysregulated? And do we find that our movement and our posture and our nervous system is affecting our depth and quality of breathing? All these questions are so important to consider because it shifts us out of being in a subconscious, mindless state to becoming embodied and mindful and reflective over what we can do to change our patterns and processes and behavior. Now, another thing that happens alongside neuroplasticity is something called bioplasticity. So it's taking this concept, but to the entire body and noticing how our nervous system and all the tissues, right down to our DNA, will be shifting and changing according to our behavior. And this ties in with the science of epigenetics, whereby our lifestyle will allow some of those genes to either switch on or switch off. So when people used to say, well, you're predisposed to it, so you're going to get it, we now know, don't we, from the science of epigenetics, and there's plenty of research out there now to show our lifestyle, our behavior can influence whether those genes switch on or switch off. And that's all still tied up with bioplasticity, the way that we move, we sculpt, we change. So it's a huge subject. And as you can imagine, it was in greater detail explained over several weeks. But I wanted to share that with you because there are things that we can change. So if you've been in recent times and seen somebody and been told you've got a frozen shoulder, don't move that shoulder. You've been told about your joints, that they're in a certain condition. I'd like to reassure you that there are still ways that you can move gently and mindfully by using a process that I teach in total somatics called pandiculation. But I don't just teach pandiculation, I teach mindset and mindfulness principles. Because as you can see from what I've just taught you about neuroplasticity and bioplasticity, there's a lot of stuff going on in our heads, a lot of internal narratives, a lot of labels and disempowering sentences or expressions or belief systems that have been created, often from our encounters with well-meaning health professionals, but we may have interpreted their description or their prognosis in a different way to maybe how it was intended. Whatever the situation that was then, but your soma exists in time. And there are things that we can do with the process of neuroplasticity and bioplasticity by using the process of pandiculation. So there's all these big words here, but by using that process to actually change the wiring within your brain. And if we change the wiring, we change the shape, the movement, the behavior of your entire system, right down to a cellular level. So I would invite you, if you really want to start taking some action towards living in a body and in a mindset that feels more free, more open, with greater ease, I'd love to invite you to join me within the Total Somatics online membership. At the moment, the membership doors are open, but if you're listening to this episode in the future, do check out, because I do open the enrollment throughout the year, but we've had an extended enrollment season at the moment. So please, if you want to come along, please do, because the doors will close very soon. So if you want to know more, go to totalsomatics.com and click on the Join Now page. And if you go to totalsomatics.com, you will see there all the details. Within the membership, I'm there every step of the way with you, supporting you. I answer your questions, but also I have dedicated sessions. So I will collect all your questions and have them in Q&A sessions. Obviously, I don't share names. I'm very respectful of people's confidentiality, but I will answer your questions often personally, but save those brilliant questions and think I know other people would benefit too. Because if you're asking it, someone else in the world will be asking that question too. So I'd like to be there. Imagine I'm linking onto your arm and we're going through this journey together to improve your health and well-being, using the process of pandiculation to improve with the process of neuroplasticity and bioplasticity. So today's episode, you've had some nice, funky, chunky, cool words to work with. But as I said, I'm here for you every step of the way. So I hope we can meet within the Total Somatics online membership. So until next time, all my love and my very best wishes. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for joining me today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and also forward this on to somebody you know will benefit. To learn more about pain relief, plus how to improve your health and well-being, go to totalsomatics.com. Until next time, take care.